Okay, time to trigger some more Americans. Let's go. Point number one, time zones. Believe it or not, in America, there's 6 different time zones. A whole 6. Just for context, Africa has 6 different time zones. Europe has 7 different time zones. Asia has 11. Of course, it would be Asia to have 11 different time zones, but that ain't the point. The fact that one country has 6 different time zones, yeah, I think goes to show just how big this place actually is. And you do have to take it with a pinch of salt, because one of them is like Hawaiian time, and Hawaii is an island. It's literally an island. Another one of them is Alaskan time. Alaska is basically the North Pole. Well, some parts of Alaska are basically the North Pole. Florida's what, Eastern time. As you go further west, you move further and further back behind. So if it's like 5 p.m. in Florida, it's going to be like 2 p.m. in California. It's going to be like 4 p.m. in Texas. Just the same one country got all these different time zones, man. Okay, reason number 2, America should be a continent, is the law. Now, I'm not explaining the whole American judicial system, or is that even the word? No, I'm not going to sit here and explain the whole American judicial system, because that's long, it's boring, and I'm not doing that much research about a topic I do not care about. But to break it simple, in America you have federal laws and you have state laws. The state laws when that specific state can make up a specific law. For example, the state of Texas has currently banned abortions. Federal laws are laws that applies to every state. Obviously, there's many different layers to it, but to make it simple, if the American government wants a law around the whole country, then make it federal, and then the federal law applies to everyone, everywhere. Then you have the state laws in which each state can just make up whatever they want, which is why I'm in Kansas, weed is illegal. You go 1 hour to Oklahoma, weed is legal. Thirdly, this population is way too big and way too spread. All right, I'm gonna have to look at the script for this one. America has an area of 3.797 million square miles. 3.797 million miles. That's how big this country is. And just for context, the only 2 countries that come close in size are China, and China has 1 billion blood clot people, and Canada has a population that is smaller than England. I think Canada's population is like 38 million from what I saw, and that's because apparently half of Canada is not livable. Why? Because half of Canada is basically also the North Pole. Obviously, Russia's a joke in terms of how big it is, but if you actually look at where people live in Russia, and I saw this recently on like TikTok or something like that, who said social media can't teach you anything. Everyone in Russia, or majority of Russia, all live in like one part of Russia, and the rest of Russia is just more or less empty. It's just like nomads or flipping, what do you call them people? Eskimos, just people that live off the land, innit? If you look at a map of America, everyone lives on the coast more or less, but like the East Coast is very populated, and then it lessens and lessens and lessens until you get to the West Coast where it's very populated again. My point is, America is big enough, and there's enough people in America that literally every state could be its own country. Texas is what, like the 2nd or 3rd biggest state in terms of size and I think population, and Texas is like 3 times the size of the United Kingdom. And last but not least, the geography of this country. Now, of course, no matter what country you're in, depending on where you are will depend on the weather changes, but no country weather-wise is as varied as America. I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me. Maybe Brazil because of the Amazon and all of that stuff. But in general, like, even then, no, because it's still a tropical climate. You can literally be in Florida, where it rains every second, catch a 2-3 hour flight to Texas, where it barely rains, catch another 2-3 hour flight from Texas to Nevada, which is a blood clot desert, and from Nevada take another 2 to 3 hour flight to fucking, what's that place called? The state of Washington, where it rains all the time. But the rain in Washington and the rain in Florida is not the same rain. Fam, it honestly baffles me, near enough baffles me how this place is really one country. This really should be a continent. The continent of America, fam. Side note, again, how long it takes you to get from one place to the other. If you're in Florida and you want to take a flight to California, it's like 5 to 6 hours. I need to fact check that, so I truly think America should be a continent for all the reasons that I've just listed. Anyway, my people, I'm out. My face looking all dry, my hair barely brushed, but we thank God for life. We're grateful. Peace, love, bird game.